have fun and looking for fun all the time. So that's what it's all about. Hi, how are you? Hello. That's funny because they weren't Thai, those two ladies. So they were actually, I think, Russian. So the good thing, that was a funny thing, because normally you'd get only Thai ladies approaching you, but when Russians sort of smile and ask you to come and talk to them, it's unusual here because the Russians don't usually talk to many people. But anyway, guys, I'm going to head towards Pattaya. That was a bit of fun. I'm going to head towards Pattaya and show you some of the places in Pattaya that I like and that I don't like. Hi fam, welcome to this episode of Destination Finished with Carlos. Please mind my voice. I've sort of lost my voice a little bit over the last few days. I went to Bangkok the other day and I'm not good with air conditioning. There was air conditioning in my room and my voice is a little bit funny, so just bear with us with that. But in regards to today's episode, I'm leaving soon, so my 1 year in Thailand is almost over. I'm here in the condo in the Riviera, but what I wanted to do with today's episode was give you my honest opinion of living in Pattaya for the last year. I will make some comparisons to Pattaya and Thailand. So it's not about living in Thailand, just about living in Pattaya for the past year. So that's what this episode is going to be about. But I'm just looking out my window, so I'll just show you out my balcony what it looks like. So I will definitely miss this when I do leave, which isn't long to go now. But this to give you an idea what I see every day. So as you can see, guys, it's been a beautiful place to stay here, the Gulf of Thailand, here in Jomtien. And that's really what I look at every day, guys, from my balcony, and what I've been looking at for the last year. So I will definitely miss this. But like I said, it's not long to go. But as I said, this episode is going to be about my honest opinion of what it's like to live in Pattaya. And what I will do, because people have asked me, is I will do another video after this one about the cost of living in Thailand, not just in Pattaya, but in Thailand, which will be very interesting for a lot of people, because that's really one of the main things for myself that is a bonus about living here, the cost of living. So I'm going to do an episode specifically on that, just to give you guys an idea of how much it really costs to stay in this beautiful place, beautiful country of Thailand. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go down walking along the beach, walking along Pattaya, to explain to you my honest opinion about living here and what goes on here, and give you an idea of why I do and don't like Pattaya. But off we go, guys. We'll get started on this episode now. Okay fam, so in relation to Pattaya itself, as most of you are aware, well, people that don't live here, have never been here, may not know, I live in Jomtien, so that's Jomtien here, all the way down this road. I've done a few episodes on Jomtien, so have a look at my catalogue of episodes that I've done on YouTube and you'll see one on Jomtien. So Jomtien is just outside of Pattaya city centre itself. So it's on the northern side, and then on the southern side you've got a place called Wongamat, that area. So I chose to stay in Jomtien because Pattaya itself, Pattaya city, is pretty full on. It's a party place, a lot of stuff happening, and if you're into that sort of thing, Pattaya city itself is great. Now I decided to come here for a year, so for me coming here for a year, this place here, you find there's a different mix of people. You still got people like to party, but what you've also got is a lot of families, a lot of foreigners that live here as well, but more family orientated, and mainly some that like a little bit quieter, don't really want the full-on atmosphere that you get in Pattaya city. But as you can see, huge beach, water there, still got the bars and you know, all your bars, massage places, places to eat, as you can see right here behind me. This is open in the evening. It's during the day at the moment, so a lot of these are closed, but a lot of places to eat. So it's a great location, and this road that I'm on here, that's where the baht bus goes all the way to Pattaya city, and that's 10 baht. So I mean 10 baht turned into your currency, Australian dollars, it works out to about 40 cents. And that goes all the way into Pattaya City. Anywhere you want to get on and off, you get on and off. You heard it just beep there because it's thinking I want to get the BART bus. But this is Jomtien, guys, and this is why I decided to stay here. Beautiful views, you got islands, you got Kolan on the other side. But it's a beautiful, beautiful little spot if you're going to stay for long term. So that's my main reason for staying in this area. Now, the downside of Pattaya, from my personal opinion, is that if you come to Thailand and you want to see Thailand, then Pattaya is probably the least Thailand place in Thailand. It is really a little paradise, 100%. But for foreigners who really like to party and like to go for a drink and like to be around women and stuff like that, that's really what it's all about down here. So in terms of seeing the rest of Thailand, I'm fortunate that I actually managed to travel around. If you look at my catalogue, I've been to nearly every part of Thailand, but there's so many places I still have to see. But what I did manage to get when I did visit the rest of Thailand is see the real Thailand. And like I said, it got to the point in the last few months here where I couldn't wait to get out of Pattaya. You know, it was more a case of, geez, let me see Thailand, I want to get out of here. Because it was just foreigners drinking at the bars, at the clubs, trying to get girls. And, you know, after a little bit of time, it wears off. Remember, I'm here for a year. So people that are here for a short period of time and are looking for that, yeah, they'll love this place. But the people that stay here, live here and like it here, they like that kind of lifestyle. And that's not necessarily for me. I want to see the rest of Thailand. So just bear that in mind if you do come here. Just come here for a short period of time if you're looking to see all of Thailand, because this isn't really Thailand. It is beautiful, a beautiful area, but it's not really Thailand. You're not going to get an experience of Thailand if you just stay in Pattaya. So that's my recommendation. That's one of the downsides of being in Pattaya, in that you don't really get to see Thailand when you're here. You just see a certain aspect of it, and it's not the best aspect of it. And I'll explain that in a sec as well. Now, one of the things about Pattaya itself, for those of you that don't know, and most of you do know, it's really a place where most of the people that are here, the local people, the Thai people, aren't actually from Pattaya. When I say most of them, I'm talking about high 90s in percentage terms. Nearly everyone is outside of Pattaya, and especially the ladies that come here, a lot of them are from very poor areas of Thailand. And the reason they come here is basically for business reasons. You know, they need money. A lot of them have children with Thai men. There's a misconception that they all hate Thai men. Nearly every lady that I've met here that I know as friends, and some that I've got, you know, more friendly with, nearly all of them have actually got children, and they got children with Thai men. But what happens is they leave their children in whatever place they're from, and they come here to work. Some of them see their kids maybe once or twice a year for a few days, and their kids are raised by grandparents and things like that. So basically they come here to work and they send money back to raise these kids, to make a better life for themselves, because in these poor areas there's really not many opportunities. So I understand that part of it. So what happens is there's a bit of a situation where a lot of the ladies that come here, they're coming here looking to make money, and make money any way they like. So basically the whole city of Pattaya, even Jomtien where I am, is full of working girls. And when I say working girls, I'm sure you know what I mean. So everyone who works in a bar, everyone who works in a massage parlor, some people walking in the street, you get approached. I'll be surprised if I don't get approached at some point while talking to you guys on this vlog. But basically you get approached every day. And if you go into a bar, you go into a massage place, everyone is available for a price. That's basically how it is here. Now, I wasn't aware of that until I actually stayed here. I used to see the bars when I came for a 3-week holiday, and if you want to know how I ended up in Thailand, I won't go through it all, but look at my last, or my upload from about the visa. It explains how I ended up in Thailand. But once I actually came here properly to stay, that's when I realized, oh, okay, all these girls that work in these bars, they're available for a price. Now, the people that come here regularly and the people that stay here, they all know that. And if you look at the demographics of the people that come here, especially the Anglo-Europeans, they are all retirees, a lot older in age. And my opinion, which is pretty obvious, is that's the reason they like coming here, because A lot of them have come from failed marriages, or they've left their countries for whatever reason. A lot of them could be reasons that are a bit on the legal side or whatever it is. I don't know what they've done. Some of them, they've just left their country and they've come here. And when you come here to Thailand, coming from another country, you can literally create any story you want about yourself, because no one knows anything about you. And a lot of the people that I found that are here, they got no Facebook, they got no nothing. So it's almost like they're running away from something. I don't know what they're running away from. But a lot of them are like that. So they come here, older guys, 60s, 70s, I've seen everything. And really, you can go into any bar, any massage place, and basically for a price, you can, and when I say a price, you can have someone for an hour, you can have them for a few hours, you can have them for a week, you can have them for a month. And that's what a lot of people here do. So a lot of the times when you see these guys with these younger ladies, you think, oh wow. And I've seen a lot of these videos that people do, and they make out like, oh look, older guys, come down to Pattaya, you'll love it here, the ladies love you. Yeah, they love you for a price. No lady comes here for a reason of just saying, oh, I'm going to hook up with an older guy for nothing. There's a price to everything. They're all paying for something. And what you'll find is these ladies come here to make money. And look, if they can make money, if they can meet someone who really likes them and is going to look after them, that's their end game for most of them. And it doesn't matter what the guy looks like, that's the end game. So you don't have to be handsome to get a lady here that's going to approach you. I've seen people with a walking stick in their 80s have ladies approach them. I've seen guys in wheelchairs. I've seen fat, skinny, tall, short, able, disabled. Everyone can get a lady here for a price. And the reason for that is because most of the people that are here, especially the ladies, they're here for business. They've left their villages and they've come here. And don't have the misconception that everyone here is young. A lot of these ladies, guys, you will find just as many older, 40s, 50s, still living that lifestyle where they're available for a price that are still here. And they've been through the whole scenario where they met men before, especially foreigners, promised them this, promised them that, and nothing worked out. Some of them even got married. I've got a few friends that I know got married and went to live overseas and didn't like it. Got divorced, come back, and they're back in that lifestyle. So it's a very difficult life for them, and you really, some of them when they get to the 40-year-old stage and above, it's almost like desperation stage. But a lot of the younger ladies or the younger girls, different story. Like I said, you will find just as many older ladies here as younger ones, but the good thing is I've never seen anything inappropriate like children. But girls in their 20s, they're not stupid. Those girls that are in their 20s, they're not going to let some old guy just meet them and take them away for nothing. They're going to charge a lot of money, and the older ladies will charge less. A lot of these guys, especially that come here to Thailand, everyone thinks that these white guys, or sorry, these foreigners have got money. And a lot of them don't have money. That's why they come to Southeast Asia and Thailand. If they had money, they'd probably be in Dubai, in Miami, in London. That's where you'd go if you had money. So you come here when you don't really have much money. So a lot of them come here and don't have much money, and they have to drop down their expectations from what they thought they were going to get to going for these ladies that are in their 40s, 50s. And look, some of them meet them and fall in love with them. And good luck to them if that happens. But the fact is, what a lot of people don't mention on a lot of these videos that I watch, that everyone is available for a price, especially in those bars and massage places, and especially these ladies that are just walking around. They're here for business. They're not leaving their children in a village somewhere to hook up with somebody for nothing. You're going to have to pay for that. So just be wary of that. And I know a lot of you guys know that, and the ones that are here, they all know that. But it's like this big white elephant in the room. No one likes to talk about it and put it out there. But that's really what it's all about, guys. And I know, I've met guys here that have nice girlfriend, and really the girlfriend, they're paying them a wage to be with them. Now, they don't see it that way, but I see it that way. That's my opinion. If you're paying someone to be with you, people say, oh, I'm sponsoring them, I'm looking after them. No, you're not looking after them. You're like an employer, and they're an employee. You're paying them to be with you. And that's simple as I see it. A lot of the guys here don't see it that way because they don't have to pay that much. So because they're not paying that much, they see it as, oh, well, if I was back home, there's no way any woman would even look at me for the money that I'm offering these ladies. And for what I'm offering them, it's not that much, so maybe I'm just looking after them. No, if you're paying for them, you're basically hiring them like a business, and they're treating it as a business as well. They're not offended by it because they're saying, okay, as long as you look after me, I'll be with you. And that's really what happens here, guys. So that's the attraction of this place for a lot of the older guys that come here. A lot of them have a fantasy that they're going to meet this young 20-year-old. That doesn't happen unless they really have the money to splash out, and they're going to go broke at some point. Then they're going to leave and go back to their country. But most of them you'll see are sort of in an age appropriate. If they're in 70s, they might have a 40-year-old. 60s, they might have a 40-year-old. Yeah, that makes sense. But the ones that have really younger ones, they're paying a lot of money for that. And that's really how it works here, guys. There's no, people get offended by it and they say, oh, you're a hater, why do you have to say that? It's the truth. And look, and that's what it is here, guys. I've been here long enough now to know how it works. And the good thing is I've got a lot of friends that work in the bars that I talk to every day. And they tell me the stories, and you know, I know the sort of things that people get up to, and it's quite embarrassing for some of these dudes that come here and act the way they act. But you know, at the end of the day, to each their own. If they're not being able to, not successful with ladies back home, they come to Southeast Asia with a little money they've got and hope that they're going to get somewhere with that. So that's the big attraction of Pattaya, and one of the reasons that I don't really like Pattaya that much, because sometimes when I walk around I think, oh no, everybody thinks I'm like those other guys, you know. So that's the only issue. That's why you see me traveling around a lot. I like to get out as much as possible out of Pattaya, because that's what Pattaya is all about, guys. And really, people can say what they like. Guys can get on there and say, oh no, it's not like that. Everyone claims that they met their lady and, you know, I never had to pay them anything. It's all rubbish. They've met them through some manner in which you've had to pay them. And maybe once you've got to know them, they got to know you, they're happy to be with you. But they're looking after their family, they've got kids at home. So someone's got to look after them. They're not leaving all that for free. So that means you're the one who's looking after it. And a lot of the guys don't like to mention that. They don't like to talk about that because maybe they find it embarrassing. They prefer to say that, oh no, I don't pay anything. But it's simple common sense. These ladies come here for business. They're not going to hook up with somebody, live with them for nothing and get no money when they've got to send money back and look after their families. So that means that guy is the one who's doing that for them. And that's one of the things that I don't really like here, guys. I'm going to walk around and I'll show you what a lot of these soys look like. And it's really a city of working people, or working ladies. That's really what it is, a huge city of working ladies, and they are all over the city. So that's the attraction of these old guys coming specifically to Pattaya to come and spend time here. Okay fam, as we're heading down this way, this is Jomtien. So I live that way, and that's the end you go to Pattaya, and this side you go to Jomtien, which is North Jomtien, and the more you go that way, it's sort of coming towards the edges of Pattaya, the city itself. But basically, in regards to, I was talking about the ladies and the way they work here. The reason that I do say a lot of these guys, the only way they're going to really meet these ladies, they've got to pay for them. The way they work here is very different to what the way we work back in our countries. In Australia, for example, you work, there's laws that cover it. Over here, the friends that I have that work in, for example, bars and the massage places and that, I mean, they're literally working 30 days or 1 month, they'll get 1 or 2 days off, and that is it. And in those 1 or 2 days that they get off, they will basically just relax and chill out, because their hours of work are ridiculous. You know, they'll work till, if they're working in a bar, the bar may close at 2, or when somebody actually leaves, the last person leaves. One person I was speaking to, they've actually worked till 8 o'clock in the morning, starting at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's just it. It's just basically they get a wage, which is, I don't know, about $250, $300 a month, Australian. And then they got to try and make up extra money by doing other things that I was speaking about. But what you find is the hours are ridiculous, guys. And even for the massage people, the same thing. They get 1 or 2 days off a month. So they're almost working 7 days a week and 12-hour days easily. Massage places close about 11 o'clock. So in reference to people, guys saying, oh, meet girls and everything else, the only way they're going to meet them is by actually paying for them to actually come out with them and then do whatever they got to do. Because these girls only get 1 or 2 days off a month. And if they don't go to work, they don't get paid. So this is what I was saying about people saying, oh, you know, yeah, I've met this person, didn't have to pay them or anything. You know, if they're not paying them, these girls aren't going to take a day off, get no money, just because you decided I want to go out with you. So that's how it works here. And like I said, the hours they work is ridiculous. You get people that work in the banks and stuff like that. They're not working girls, obviously. But those people are usually professionals, and, you know, and they're working in the banks or whatever. but you're not going to meet them either. Their hours are quite long as well, but they got families. They usually got Thai husbands and Thai families, and they go back home. So they're not the type of people that are going to be looking for men or looking for somebody to look after them as such. So that's what happens over here, guys. The hours that they work is ridiculous. So for them to get time off to meet somebody is very hard. And the only way they can meet somebody, or if a guy wants to meet them, is by actually paying them, or paying the bar fine and then compensating them to actually go out with them. And that's how it works. Right, so a few of you might be asking, so how does this work? How can everyone be available? So if you look next to me here up the top, above a lot of these places here, there's all massage places down here, a few little bars. People live up there, usually it's the staff. So basically what happens is if you meet somebody in the bar and you like her and you want to talk to her, you can actually take her up in one of the rooms up there, which is usually above the bar, and you pay a fine to the bar, they call it a bar fine, for taking her off the floor. And then you negotiate a price with her and you take her upstairs. That's literally how it works. And that's how most of these guys meet their girls. You know, they hang around at the bar for long enough, they want to take them out, they want to take them upstairs, they pay their bar fine. And what you find in these little soys here, I'm still in Jomtien, so these little soys here normally have what you find at night, it's off the main road. So a lot of the old blokes like to come down here, these little soys, and really hi, how are you? Hello. Sorry? No, I'm okay, thank you, thank you. And as you can see there, the ladies, you know, I've walked past, oh, do you want a massage? Of course, they're doing their job, that's their job. You know, try to get customers in, it's a business. But when you get in, these ladies don't make much money. It's about $200 a month, Australian, or $250 that they get. So the only way they're gonna make more money is by commissions on drinks they sell, or in the massage places when they get in there, try to offer the guys something a bit extra to make some extra money. And that's really how it works, guys. And that's what Pattaya is all about. Now, when I say that's what Pattaya is all about, people will say, oh, it happens in other places in Thailand. I've been to a lot of the places, guys. You might find one or two bars. In Udintani, one of my last videos I did, there's one little soy. You can count 10 bars where you got places like that. But that is it, in the whole city. In Pattaya, the whole city's like that, and I mean the whole city. And it's not just a small area, it's a huge area. So you can imagine why so many people come here from those other small villages, and why so many old blokes like to come here and stay here. It's for that reason. It's supply and demand. If it wasn't happening, they wouldn't have all these people coming to work and have all these bars and massage places down here. And that's really how it works, guys. You know, it's the honest truth. Like I said, this video is going to be about my honest, what I've seen, observed. This isn't like stories I've heard. This is things that I've seen. And my opinion, obviously, some people may not appreciate it, or they may not like it. But that's what it's all about, guys. This area is a red light. It's a huge red light district city. It's not a red light street. It's not a red light area. It's a whole city. It's a red light city. And that's why a lot of these older blokes like coming here. And what I find, what I love about going outside of here is when I go to all those other places in Thailand, you don't get approached by anybody. Even in Bangkok, you know, you've got to go to the red light area in Bangkok. But if you just go around Bangkok, nobody approaches you. Nobody even cares. They see you're a foreigner. Some people will be nice, might ask you a few questions, but they're not. You can tell when somebody's looking for business, or somebody's just curious, or they're interested in your story. And over here, everybody's looking for business, and that's the truth. And like I said, this is one of the reasons why I don't like Pattaya so much, because if you're into that kind of thing, you'll love this place. It's like the best place on earth if you're into that kind of stuff. But for me personally, somebody who just wants to see the country, this place, after a while, it gets to be a bit, you know, too much, because that's all it's about, you know. And all the people you meet, even some people you meet that seem nice, some guys that you meet, some foreigners, you know, you meet foreigners all the time, you eventually find out, oh, they're really here on a different type of reason, you know. They're not just here to see Thailand, they're here to just have fun and looking for fun all the time. So that's what it's all about. Hi, how are you? Hello. That's funny, because they went Thai, those two ladies. So they were actually, I think, Russian. So the good thing, that was a funny thing, because normally you'd get only Thai ladies approaching you, but when Russians sort of smile and ask you to come and talk to them, it's unusual here, because the Russians don't usually talk to many people. But anyway, guys, I'm going to head towards Pattaya. That was a bit of fun. I'm going to head towards Pattaya and show you some of the places in Pattaya that I like and that I don't like. Yeah, this area here, Pattaya, is right near Walking Street, and as you can see, during the day it's pretty busy, and it's the Indian Arab area, and honestly at night down here it is chaotic till very late, all hours of the morning. And the reason that I don't like the area is because not necessarily anything against Indian or Arabic people, but the ones that come here, they're literally from those countries. You know, they're not like Westerners or anything like that of Indian origin that have come here. And the way they behave, honestly, the way they walk around in groups of like 10, 15. They approach all the girls, the working girls, and they try to get a... Hi, how are you? I'm right, thank you. And they try to get bargain. They try to bargain in with working girls. Mind you, when I say working girls, these girls, they charge much money, guys. I mean, if you're in your country, from what I've heard, and I've spoken to some of the girls who work in the bars because I've made some friends with them, the older ones, you can 1,000 baht, you can probably get an older lady. The younger ones would go for more, but these guys, they will try and get 10 of them together and bargain and say, well, if there's 10 of us, we'll pay you 100 each. And they're just, I've seen people like arguing with them, and I mean, I don't know, they're just, the way they act, it's almost like kids who just reached puberty and they've never been around women before, you know, because the women here approach you, they don't care if you're Indian, if you're Arab, they're going to approach you, it's business for them. But these guys, they act like, wow, look, these girls are approaching me. And as you can see, I'm walking around here. If you listen to the music, you got Arabic music down there, I think, or Indian. And this bar is already busy. And usually they're not even open at this time. So, as you can hear, you know, they're going to call you in, they're going to try and get you in there. There's already people in there now. But like I said, this area itself, it's a bit grimy, but you know what, if you're into like really busy and Middle Eastern, Indian sort of thing, you may actually like it. But for myself, it's probably one of the worst areas. But the only good thing with this is it leads straight to Walking Street. So at night, a lot of times you can cut through here to get to Walking Street. But like I said, that's the only issue with that area there. But like I said, the ladies here, they don't care. You know, it's business for them. The more they get of those guys, the better for them, because everything's about business here for these people. And good luck to them if they do manage to get as much business as possible as they can, because that's what they're here for. But like I said, guys, the area itself isn't bad. There's all sorts. It's full of nightclubs, restaurants. The Indian people, they only eat at Indian restaurants. They're the only people I know that leave their country, come to a place like Thailand, and only go to Indian places, at Indian restaurants, and hang around for Indian people. But anyway, you know, they must like their food. You know, they probably like their own food and that kind of thing. And the Arabic people are very similar as well. You'll very rarely see them in other places or in bars and stuff like that. They always hang around their own people. But the area itself isn't too bad. It's just that when they're out, especially at night, oh man, they're just chaotic. You know, they walk in the middle of the street. Taxis have to scream at them, get out of the way. Ladies are telling them off for trying to negotiate literally something for nothing. So yeah, it does get a bit like that. But anyway, I'm just about to head to Walking Street. This here, what's that called? Karma Club. That's actually very busy at night, guys. Like I said, it's an Indian club, Indian music. Heaps of ladies go in there, so don't think they don't discriminate. You know, they're here for business. Heaps of ladies go in there, and you see them walking out with Indian guys. And I'm talking about Indian guys who are still wearing their sandals, their brown trousers, and a green striped shirt. You know, but they don't care. It's all business. But that's one area which I try to avoid. I'm not really keen on that area. Now guys, this is Walking Street during the day. As you can see, it's actually quite pretty, the way they've painted it all. They've done that all up last year when I was here. And as you can see, all the clubs that you're probably familiar with. But this is what it looks like during the day, and during the day all the cars come up and down here, so it's not just walking street during the day. But the thing with walking street, I don't mind it, you know. There's one or two decent clubs here, but what I would say is it's a place that when you do come to Pattaya, you definitely want to come down. You know, it's one of those things, one of those places. It's an eye-opener, but regardless of it being an eye-opener, there's a lot of stuff to do here. You know, clubs especially, people everywhere, so it's really something that you have to do if you come to Pattaya. So I'm glad that I did walking street a few times. There's a few decent clubs that I come to up here. Very rarely though, I don't come that often because it gets very busy in the evening. That's when they close it down to traffic and it's just people walking, but it can be really, really busy. So that's the only thing you've got to bear in mind. But if you don't mind crowds, if you don't mind bumping into people, it's actually definitely a place to visit when you do come to Pattaya. So walking street is definitely a bonus. I don't think Pattaya would be Pattaya without walking street. Alright fam, so I'm sort of central Pattaya beach in the city here. And this little area here is quite an unusual area because at the moment there's not many people here. But it's an area where you get all your alcoholics, drunks and homeless people hanging around. But Pattaya is one of the few places in the world where I know, or where I've seen, people, tourists or foreigners that are maybe living here or, well, definitely living here, that actually look like they're homeless. And they sit with these people and they look just as bad as these people. I mean, I don't know if they're ex-junkies or what, but it's one of the few places in the world where you will see foreigners look worse than the actual local homeless people. And it's quite something to see, especially in the evenings. And they're always hanging around here, a few beers, probably drunk. I'd say probably amphetamines as well, if you know what I mean. But very unusual place. But at the end of the day, this is Pattaya Beach, which is quite nice. So I mean, I say nice. The only issue is, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but a lot of rubbish around. And that's the one thing that I never have done since I've been here. I don't swim in that water or even at Jomtien. The sand isn't like Australia where we've got that grainy sand where you walk in it, you just wipe your feet and it comes off. This sand is like dust, so when you walk in it, your feet go grey with dust. You've got to wash your feet. Just a very unusual sand. It's almost like a dusty sand and the water isn't the nicest. Now, saying that, you just go to Kolan, which is just at the back there, and then you feel like you're in paradise, crystal clear waters. And even if you just go a little bit further out into the water's crystal clear. But just on the edges here, it's not very nice water. So I haven't swum since I've been here, 1 year, in either Pattaya or Jomtien Beach. But some of the clips that you see of me swimming, it's not far from there. It's just that area seems, because it's so busy, the water just isn't clean and the beach isn't the nicest or cleanliest of beaches. Great to look at, but not necessarily to swim. Although heaps of people swim in it, but not for me. That's one thing, guys. Like I said, Thailand isn't new to Australian people. I mean, I'm Australian. From the 80s I knew about Thailand and Southeast Asia, and it was always a place where Southeast Asia was always a place where it was like certain characters would go there, you know, and not good characters, if you know what I mean. It had that reputation from back then in the 80s. And what I would say is it's probably changed a little bit in the sense that you get more people that are, like I've seen, you know, want to retire, come and live here, quite nice, but you still have that element. Now, like you said, I've seen the scammers, the people that are probably on the run from police and staying here, you know, and I've seen a few that have got caught while I've been here, even from Australia, that have been on the run and they've eventually got caught here. So it's always been one of those places where that type of thing happens, Thailand. But what I would say is Pattaya itself has a lot of that. But the rest of Thailand, guys, is very, very different. So what you don't want to do is watch all these videos and all these people talking about Pattaya, thinking that all of Thailand is like this. It's not. Thailand is one of the most beautiful places in the world. I would still recommend it to anybody. If you want to retire, come to Thailand. But Pattaya, don't get confused thinking that everywhere is like here. A lot of these ladies that are working, you see all these bars down here, guys, they're all working. They're all available. All these people are available for a price. But when you go back, they go back to their villages where they're from, very different, guys. They act different, they behave differently. And in those villages, guys, people are completely different. They're not really interested in, you know, oh, I'll take you home, are you alone? You know, you get asked that all the time. Yeah, like I said, I've been asked that a few times while I've been walking down. Are you alone? What are you doing? Do you want me to come home with you? That happens all the time, guys, and you don't have to be handsome for that to happen to you. So these older guys that I think like coming here, A lot of them, you know, probably have had issues back home with relationships and with not good with women or whatever, and they get some women here asking them, well, would you want to come home with me? They're like thinking, this is fantastic, this is the best place on earth. Where else are women going to ask me to go back with them? And you look at some of these guys, man, they look sick, they're overweight, they got that emphysema cough, they've got a cigarette in their hand all the time, they're at the bar drinking all day, they've got the bags under their eyes, they look terrible. But the women are going to try and go with them just to get some money from them. But those guys actually think, oh wow, I'm living the life. They'll be dead in a few years the way they live. Alcohol is a big problem here. That's one thing as well in Pattaya. All these ladies, they drink every day, guys. And all the men obviously come in and drink all the time. But the ladies, because they're in the bar, the way they make money, you know, guys buy them drinks and sit with them, talk to them, try to, you know, get their number, try to make a deal with them. But they're drinking all day, guys. So that's the one thing that I've seen. A lot of these ladies, I mean, look, they look great when they're younger. But as they get older, especially the ones that have been doing this for quite some time, they're living that lifestyle, I'll tell you what, it catches up with them, and they don't look as good, especially when they're drinking every day. And that's one downside to this place, guys. The lifestyle and the environment and the type of people you get here, it's not the best. And that's Pattaya, remember, Pattaya, not Thailand, Pattaya. The rest of Thailand, I can tell you now, is beautiful. I haven't been to all of Thailand. I heard Phuket can be a bit like this with younger generation, but Pattaya itself, there's a lot of bad with the good. So you just got to take that with it if you want to stay here for a long time. So this part of Pattaya is Soy Bukkao, which is very popular. A lot of nightlife, a lot of bars, and this is where you basically, for me personally, most of the degenerates come to, because it's got basically everything here. It's still a good place to come out. I definitely recommend people to come down here just to have a look around at least. But people that stay here all the time and like to come here all the time, it's a certain type of tourists, certain type of people that live here that like that sort of stuff, and they're not just tourists, they're a certain type of tourists, and I think you know what I mean. But that's the type of people you get down here. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a lot of soys. I mean, this is the main road, but there's soys all the way through here, all the way on the other side, and there's bars galore over here and places galore that you can go to drink and all that kind of stuff. But that's what this place is all about. But like I said, it's a certain type of people that come to this area. For me personally, I think. But you know, it is what it is. Don't like it that much. I think I've been here about 3 times in a year. I went out once down to a place down there, but yeah, not really for me. This is where a lot of lady boys are as well. So if you hear a lot of guys that say they like coming here, I'd say they probably like it for certain other reasons than just that they like coming here, put it that way. But anyway, this is it, Soy Bukkao. Alright guys, so still in Soy Bukkao. And as you can see, looking at the places behind me here, this is all clubs and bars, go-go clubs. What I'd say is, when I've come here the 3 or 4 times, the age demographic, I'd say 90% of the people over 50, maybe over 50 and over 60. So you can imagine what type of people come here, guys, and why they come here. Like I said, good luck to them. You know, if they have issues at home, finding women or getting attention from women, they're definitely going to get attention here at a cost. But if that's what turns them on, good luck to you. But this is Soy Bukkao. But like I said, not a place that I'd recommend unless you're coming here just for a few days. Definitely come and stay around this area. But if you're staying here for a long time, forget it. This would definitely not be the area to stay in for a while. All right, fam, so to finish off, one of the busiest intersections here in Pattaya. I would say that Pattaya is a great place to visit. Not so much to live, unless, and this may sound crazy, unless you come with your partner or you meet someone here. And I wouldn't meet any girl in Pattaya, put it that way. Forget meeting somebody in Pattaya. From Bangkok, yes, 100%. If you met somebody, you want to be with them, I would definitely move to Pattaya. Even if you bring your wife, you want to retire or something like that over here, I would definitely come to Pattaya, because you're not interested in going around bar hopping and chasing girls. That case is brilliant. If you're wanting to experience Thailand, forget Pattaya. Come only for a week or 2, because this isn't Thailand. This is just a party place for old guys and for Anglo-Europeans that just want to have a good time and probably don't get much of a good time back home. And that's my honest opinion, and that's after living here for a year and visiting a lot of Thailand. Thailand is beautiful. I would say Pattaya is probably the least pretty part of Thailand, like I said, unless you've got somebody with you that you want to be with you full time. like I said, in terms of meeting a girl in Pattaya, I know a lot of guys think they're going to come here to meet a girl. There's only one type of girl that's going to be working here in Pattaya, guys, and they're working girls. And if that's what you want to meet, good on you. But once they've lived that lifestyle, I can assure you, you can go back home and try to tell people that they were a banker and they were all this type of stuff. If they're from one of those little villages outside of Pattaya and they've come here to work in bars, massage places, it doesn't matter what you tell people, guys. We know what the situation is and why they're here. So I wouldn't meet anybody here. You could definitely have friends here. I've got plenty of friends, lady friends here. But I definitely wouldn't meet anybody here in Pattaya to be with full on. Because the lifestyle they're living, guys, is not the lifestyle that you want somebody to be with. But in general, guys, like I said, what I would do differently if I come here again, I would stay here maybe for a few weeks, but I would actually stay around other places in Thailand, and maybe Bangkok would be my basic base. I know a lot of the old guys don't like Bangkok because they don't get much attention in those places, but I love it. For me, Bangkok is the best place in Thailand, and you can get all over Thailand from there. But there's so many beautiful places in Thailand, guys. There's 70 million people here. It's a big place. So you've got plenty of people that you're able to meet. But this place here, guys, is really just the place for certain types of tourists. And I think you know what type of tourists. And most of the guys that I've seen here, guys, they got an Asian fetish. They got a fetish with Asian women. They like the small hips, tiny little girls. And that's the certain type of tourist that likes that. So good on them if they want to come here for that. Do your thing. But for me, definitely look around other places in Thailand and you'll find a beautiful country, guys. Pattaya is still nice, but not the best place in Thailand to come to.